Welcome, seekers of the strange and the supernatural, to Whispers in the Dark, your go-to channel for spine-chilling tales and haunted histories. Here, we delve deep into the eerie corners of the world, where shadows whisper secrets and walls echo with stories untold. Today, we embark on a chilling journey through the most haunted places in each U.S. state, a sprawling exploration of ghostly encounters, cursed locations, and the spectral footprints left behind by history's darkest moments. America, with its rich tapestry of cultures, conflicts, and tragedies, is a land steeped in haunting legends. From the misty forests of Maine to the sun-scorched deserts of Arizona, every state harbors its own share of paranormal phenomena. Whether it's the restless spirits of Civil War soldiers, the vengeful echoes of Native American tribes, or the lingering presence of victims from unsolved crimes, these haunted sites serve as portals to another realm, a place where the past refuses to stay buried. In this series, we'll uncover the chilling stories behind some of the most infamous haunted locations across the nation. Each state has its own unique brand of terror, shaped by its geography, history, and folklore. We'll explore abandoned asylums, haunted hotels, cursed battlefields, and even entire towns frozen in time by tragedy. These are not just places, they are living, breathing testaments to the unseen forces that linger among us. For those brave enough to join us, prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your courage tested. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these tales will leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil of our reality. So grab your flashlight, keep your wits about you, and join us as we step into the shadows of America's haunted past. Let the whispers begin. The haunting legacy of Savannah, a city steeped in spirits. As we delve deeper into Georgia's haunted tapestry, no exploration would be complete without shining a spotlight on Savannah, a city often hailed as America's most haunted. Nestled along the Atlantic coast, Savannah exudes an irresistible blend of southern charm and historical gravitas. Its cobblestone streets, moss-draped oaks, and stately antebellum homes evoke a sense of timeless elegance. Yet beneath this picturesque facade lies a darker narrative, one steeped in tragedy, death, and restless spirits. Savannah's reputation as a paranormal hotspot is no accident. Founded in 1733 by General James Oglethorpe, the city quickly became a hub of colonial activity, trade, and military conflict. However, its strategic importance came at a cost. Over the centuries, Savannah bore witness to countless battles, epidemics, and acts of violence that left their indelible mark on its soil. The city's grid-like layout, designed by Oglethorpe himself, is said to include hidden tunnels and underground pathways, rumored to have been used for everything from smuggling to secret burials during times of plague. These subterranean labyrinths are believed to harbor spirits who refuse to leave, their anguished cries echoing through the ages. One cannot discuss Savannah's haunted history without mentioning its role in the transatlantic slave trade. The city's prosperity was built on the backs of enslaved Africans, whose suffering has left an enduring imprint on its collective soul. The historic district, with its grand mansions and ornate churches, stands as a testament to wealth accumulated through human exploitation. Many believe that the spirits of those who endured unimaginable hardships continue to linger, seeking justice or solace in the afterlife. Among the most notorious sites in Savannah is the Sorrowweed House, a Greek revival mansion that has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted houses in America. Built in the 1840s, the house is steeped in tragedy, including rumors of murder, suicide, and forbidden love. Visitors and paranormal investigators alike have reported hearing disembodied voices, seeing shadowy figures, and experiencing inexplicable cold spots. Some claim to have witnessed full-bodied apparitions, while others describe being overcome by overwhelming feelings of dread. The Sorrowweed House serves as a chilling reminder that the past never truly fades, it simply waits for the right moment to make itself known. Another iconic location is Colonial Park Cemetery, a final resting place for thousands who lived and died during Savannah's tumultuous early years. Plagued by yellow fever outbreaks, the cemetery became overcrowded, leading to hasty and improper burials. Legend has it that vandals once desecrated the graves, rearranging headstones and leaving many bodies lost to time. It's said that the spirits of those buried here wander the grounds at night, searching for peace, or perhaps revenge. Paranormal enthusiasts report strange occurrences within the cemetery's wrought iron gates, from ghostly figures gliding between tombstones to eerie whispers carried on the wind. What makes Savannah particularly unique is how seamlessly its haunted history intertwines with everyday life. Ghost tours are a staple of the city's tourism industry, drawing visitors eager to glimpse the supernatural. Historic inns like the Marshall House and the Hampton Lillibridge House boast their own spectral residents, offering guests a chance to sleep under the same roof as restless spirits. Even casual strolls through Savannah's squares reveal subtle signs of otherworldly presence, shadows that move when they shouldn't, doors that open and close on their own, or the faint scent of perfume wafting through empty halls. For those willing to listen, Savannah speaks volumes about the weight of history and the persistence of memory. Its haunted legacy serves as both a cautionary tale and a call to reflection, urging us to confront the darker chapters of our shared past. As we continue our journey through Georgia's most haunted places, remember that Savannah is not merely a backdrop for ghost stories. It is a living, breathing testament to the enduring power of the unseen. And if you dare to visit, tread lightly. You never know who, or what, might be watching. The Moon River Brewing Company, where history brews with the supernatural nestled in the heart of Savannah's historic district, the Moon River Brewing Company stands as a striking convergence of Southern hospitality and spectral intrigue. Housed within the walls of the former City Hotel, one of Savannah's oldest structures, this brewery has become synonymous with the paranormal. Originally constructed in 1821, the building has borne witness to nearly 2 centuries of human drama, from opulent gatherings in its heyday to squalid conditions during its decline as a flophouse. Each chapter of its storied past seems to have left behind echoes of lives interrupted, and today, those echoes manifest as some of the most compelling ghost stories in the region. The Moon River Brewing Company's haunted reputation is well documented, drawing thrill-seekers and skeptics alike to experience its unsettling energy firsthand. Employees and patrons frequently recount encounters with a malevolent spirit known only as Toby. Described as a homeless man who met a violent end inside the building, Toby is said to haunt the upstairs area, particularly the second-floor balcony. His presence is often accompanied by icy drafts, the sound of heavy footsteps, and objects being moved or knocked over. More disturbingly, several staff members have reported physical altercations with Toby's ghost, claiming to have been pushed, scratched, or even choked by an invisible force. But Toby isn't the only specter said to roam the brewery. The building's basement, once used as a holding cell for prisoners awaiting trial, is rumored to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. Visitors who descend into its dimly lit depths often feel an oppressive weight pressing down on them, as though the air itself is thick with despair. Shadowy figures have been spotted darting across the room, while disembodied voices whisper unintelligible words in the darkness. Some claim to hear the faint clinking of chains, a grim reminder of the injustices suffered by those imprisoned below. Perhaps the most harrowing tales stem from the tragic history of disease and death associated with the site. During the yellow fever epidemic of the 19th century, the City Hotel served as both a refuge and a death trap for afflicted individuals. Many who sought shelter there succumbed to the illness, their bodies hastily buried in unmarked graves nearby. It's believed that these victims still haunt the building, their restless spirits unable to find peace. Staff members report seeing apparitions of gaunt, pale-faced figures wandering aimlessly through the halls, their hollow eyes reflecting the anguish of their final days. At night, the faint sound of coughing can sometimes be heard drifting through the corridors, a chilling reminder of the epidemic's devastating toll. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Moon River Brewing Company thrives as both a popular drinking establishment and a magnet for paranormal investigators. Countless teams armed with EMF detectors, thermal cameras, and audio recorders have conducted investigations within its walls. One particularly famous incident involved a team member who captured a photograph of a translucent figure standing near the bar, its features eerily reminiscent of a Civil War-era soldier. Skeptics may dismiss such accounts as mere coincidence or overactive imaginations, but for those who've experienced the brewery's supernatural side, there's little doubt that something, or someone, is watching. What sets the Moon River Brewing Company apart from other haunted locations is its accessibility. Unlike private residences or restricted historical sites, this establishment welcomes visitors with open arms, inviting them to sip craft beer while keeping one eye peeled for signs of the otherworldly. For locals and tourists alike, it offers a rare opportunity to engage with Savannah's haunted history in a tangible way. Yet, for all its charm and conviviality, the brewery remains a place where the boundary between the living and the dead feels perilously thin. So, whether you're raising a glass to toast the city's storied past or braving the basement in search of ghosts, remember, at Moon River Brewing Company, history doesn't just brew, it haunts. Andersonville Prison, a relic of suffering and spectral echoes in the rolling countryside of southwest Georgia, lies Andersonville, a name that evokes images of unspeakable suffering and loss. Officially known as Camp Sumter during the Civil War, Andersonville Prison was established in 1864 to house Union soldiers captured by Confederate forces. What began as a desperate attempt to manage overcrowded prisoner populations quickly descended into a humanitarian catastrophe. Designed to hold no more than 10,000 men, the camp's population swelled to over 33,000 at its peak, leading to horrific conditions that claimed the lives of nearly 13,000 prisoners. Today, the site stands as a somber memorial to the atrocities of war, but it is also whispered to be a place where the dead refuse to rest. The sheer scale of suffering endured at Andersonville is difficult to fathom. Men were crammed into an open-air stockade with no shelter from the elements, forced to endure scorching summers and freezing winters. Dysentery, malnutrition, and exposure ran rampant, exacerbated by the lack of proper sanitation and clean water. The prison's commander, Captain Henry Wirz, was later executed for his role in overseeing the camp, making him the only Confederate officer tried and convicted of war crimes. Yet, even amidst such documented horrors, there are stories that transcend the historical record, stories of spectral figures and unearthly sounds that suggest the victims of Andersonville may still linger. Visitors to the Andersonville National Historic Site often report eerie sensations as they walk among the reconstructed stockade walls and rows of simple white markers. Many describe feeling an inexplicable heaviness in the air, as though the weight of decades-old grief presses down upon them. Others claim to hear faint murmurs or the distant shuffle of feet, though no one else appears to be around. One frequent account involves sightings of shadowy figures dressed in tattered uniforms, their forms flickering in and out of view before vanishing entirely. Some believe these apparitions are the spirits of Union soldiers, forever trapped in a purgatory of pain and despair. The most haunting reports come from those who venture into the museum and archives housed on the premises. Here, artifacts from the prison, including rusted shackles, personal belongings, and photographs of emaciated prisoners, serve as stark reminders of the camp's brutal reality. Yet, it is said that these relics carry more than just historical significance. They seem to pulse with an unsettling energy. Museum staff have recounted instances of objects inexplicably moving or falling off shelves, while visitors describe feeling sudden chills or hearing faint cries for help emanating from empty rooms. In one chilling episode, a security guard patrolling the grounds late at night reported seeing a group of translucent figures standing in formation near the reconstructed stockade. When he approached, they dissolved into mist, leaving behind only silence. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to Andersonville, intrigued by its reputation as a nexus of residual hauntings. Using tools like infrared cameras and audio recording devices, researchers have captured evidence suggesting the presence of unexplained phenomena. EVP recordings taken within the confines of the stockade reveal faint voices speaking in languages consistent with those spoken by Union soldiers of the era. Thermal imaging footage shows fleeting heat signatures appearing and disappearing without explanation. While skeptics argue that such findings could be attributed to environmental factors or equipment malfunctions, believers see them as proof that the spirits of Andersonville's victims remain tethered to the land where they suffered so greatly. What makes Andersonville uniquely terrifying is not just its haunted reputation but the visceral connection it fosters between the living and the dead. Unlike other haunted locations tied to individual tragedies, Andersonville embodies collective trauma on an almost incomprehensible scale. Walking through the site, one cannot help but feel overwhelmed by the enormity of what transpired there. The ground itself seems saturated with sorrow, each blade of grass and patch of dirt imbued with the memory of lives cut tragically short. For those brave enough to visit, Andersonville offers a sobering glimpse into humanity's capacity for cruelty, and perhaps a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. Yet, it also serves as a chilling testament to the idea that some wounds never fully heal. Whether viewed as a sacred memorial or a haunted battlefield, Andersonville continues to resonate with the echoes of its past, ensuring that the voices of its victims will never be silenced. The Orpheum Theater, where applause meets apparitions. Step into the grandeur of Macon's Orpheum Theater, and you'll find yourself transported to a bygone era of velvet curtains, gilded balconies, and the lingering scent of old-world glamour. Opened in 1884, this architectural gem has hosted luminaries ranging from vaudeville performers to opera singers, earning its place as a cultural cornerstone of Middle Georgia. Yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker narrative, one woven with threads of tragedy, passion, and the supernatural. The Orpheum Theater is not merely a venue for entertainment, it is a stage where the boundaries between life and death blur, leaving audiences and actors alike questioning whether the applause they hear comes from the living or the departed. The theater's haunted reputation stems from a series of incidents that span its storied history. One of the most enduring legends centers around a young actress named Emily, whose promising career was cut tragically short. According to local lore, Emily fell ill during a performance in the early 1900s and collapsed backstage. Despite efforts to save her, she succumbed to her illness shortly thereafter. Since then, numerous reports have surfaced of a spectral woman clad in a flowing gown roaming the halls and wings of the theater. Performers preparing for shows have described seeing her reflection in mirrors, only to turn and find no one there. Some claim to feel a gentle touch on their shoulder or hear soft humming emanating from empty dressing rooms, believed to be Emily rehearsing lines she never had the chance to deliver. Beyond Emily's ghostly presence, the Orpheum is said to harbor other spirits who refuse to relinquish their connection to the stage. Among them is a mischievous entity dubbed the Phantom Usher, whose antics range from playful to downright disruptive. Ushers working late shifts have reported chairs shifting positions on their own, spotlights flickering erratically, and ticket stubs mysteriously disappearing from locked boxes. On several occasions, actors have found props missing only to discover them later in unexpected locations, as if someone, or something, was rearranging the set. While these occurrences might seem harmless, they contribute to an atmosphere of unease that permeates the building, reminding everyone present that they are not alone. Perhaps the most spine-chilling tale involves a fire that ravaged the theater in the 1920s, claiming the lives of several patrons and staff members. Though the structure was rebuilt and reopened, it is said that the spirits of those who perished in the flames still linger, their anguish etched into every corner of the space. Visitors recount hearing faint screams and the crackling of burning wood, even though no fire has touched the premises in nearly a century. During renovations in the 1990s, construction workers refused to enter certain areas after repeatedly encountering cold spots and unexplained noises. One worker claimed to have seen a charred figure standing in the shadows, its face obscured by smoke. When he called out, the figure vanished, leaving behind only the acrid smell of ash. Modern-day performances at the Orpheum often serve as unintentional seances, with cast and crew reporting strange occurrences that defy logical explanation. Musicians have described instruments playing themselves during rehearsals, while lighting technicians swear they've seen apparitions walking across the stage during blackouts. Audience members seated in the upper balcony sometimes report feeling an unseen presence leaning against their chair or brushing past them, despite ample empty seats nearby. These experiences lend credence to the belief that the theater operates as a liminal space, a threshold between worlds where the dead continue to seek solace or closure. For paranormal enthusiasts, the Orpheum Theater presents a tantalizing opportunity to explore the intersection of art and the afterlife. Investigators equipped with EMF meters and digital recorders have captured compelling evidence of supernatural activity within its walls. Audio recordings revealed disembodied voices whispering lines from forgotten plays, while thermal cameras capture fleeting images of figures standing in doorways or peering from behind curtains. Even seasoned skeptics admit to feeling an undeniable shift in energy when stepping onto the stage, as though the weight of countless performances and tragedies hangs heavy in the air. What sets the Orpheum apart from other haunted theaters is its ability to evoke both awe and apprehension. It is a place where creativity thrives alongside chaos, where the thrill of live performance coexists with the chill of the unknown. Whether you attend a show or simply wander its hallowed halls, the Orpheum demands respect, not just for its artistic legacy, but for the restless souls who call it home. As you take your seat and wait for the curtain to rise, remember, the applause you hear may be more than just admiration for the living. It could very well be a standing ovation from those who never left the stage. The ghostly tunnels of Augusta. Beneath the surface lies a forgotten world in the bustling city of Augusta, where the Savannah River winds lazily through verdant landscapes and historic neighborhoods, lies a hidden network of subterranean tunnels that few dare to explore. These underground passages, carved out of necessity and desperation, serve as a chilling reminder of the city's complex and often tragic past. Once used for clandestine purposes ranging from smuggling goods to hiding runaway slaves, the tunnels now stand as silent witnesses to secrets long buried, but far from forgotten. To step into their dimly lit corridors is to enter a realm where history merges with the supernatural, where whispers of the past mingle with the groans of restless spirits. The origins of Augusta's tunnel system date back to the early 19th century, when the city was a thriving hub of commerce and trade. Merchants and entrepreneurs utilized the labyrinthine passageways to transport goods discreetly, avoiding taxes or scrutiny from authorities. During the Civil War, the tunnels took on a darker purpose, becoming conduits for espionage and illicit activities. But it is their association with the Underground Railroad that lends them their most haunting legacy. Enslaved individuals seeking freedom risked everything to navigate these narrow, suffocating spaces, relying on the kindness of abolitionists who provided safe passage. Tragically, not all who entered the tunnels emerged alive. Some succumbed to injury, exhaustion, or betrayal, their bodies hastily concealed within the earth. Today, the tunnels are largely abandoned, their entrances sealed off or obscured by time and neglect. Yet, those brave enough to venture inside speak of an oppressive atmosphere that defies explanation. The air grows colder with each step, carrying with it the unmistakable scent of damp soil and decay. Faint echoes reverberate through the darkness, resembling distant footsteps or muffled cries for help. Visitors often report feeling an unseen presence brushing against them, accompanied by a profound sense of dread that intensifies the deeper they go. Some claim to see shadowy figures darting just beyond the reach of their flashlights, vanishing before they can be identified. Others describe hearing disembodied voices calling out names or pleading for release, their tones laced with anguish. Among the most harrowing accounts is that of a local historian who stumbled upon a previously unknown section of the tunnels while researching Augusta's involvement in the Underground Railroad. Armed with only a lantern and a notebook, he ventured further than intended, drawn by an inexplicable compulsion. As he turned a corner, he was confronted by the apparition of a gaunt, barefoot man chained to the wall. The figure's hollow eyes seemed to pierce his soul, and before he could react, the vision disappeared, leaving behind only the faint rattle of phantom chains. Shaken but determined, the historian returned multiple times in hopes of uncovering more evidence, only to find himself plagued by recurring nightmares of being trapped in the tunnels, pursued by shadowy figures intent on dragging him into eternal darkness. Paranormal investigators have long been fascinated by Augusta's subterranean maze, conducting numerous expeditions in search of answers. Using advanced technology such as thermal imaging cameras and electromagnetic field detectors, they've captured intriguing anomalies that suggest the tunnels are indeed haunted. One team recorded a dramatic drop in temperature near a collapsed section of the passageway, accompanied by a spike in electromagnetic activity. Another group captured EVP recordings of what sounded like children giggling, despite no living person being present. Perhaps most unsettling was the discovery of handprints pressed into the dirt walls, their size and shape consistent with those of small children, an eerie testament to the families who once sought refuge in the tunnels. What makes Augusta's ghostly tunnels particularly unnerving is their ability to evoke primal fears. The claustrophobic environment, combined with the knowledge of the suffering that occurred there, creates a perfect storm of psychological unease. For those who dare to descend, the experience is akin to stepping into a nightmare, one where the line between reality and imagination blurs dangerously. Shadows seem to stretch unnaturally, sounds distort unpredictably, and the very walls appear to close in, as if the earth itself is conspiring to keep intruders trapped. Yet, amid the terror lies a poignant reminder of resilience and hope. The tunnels may be haunted, but they also symbolize the courage of those who dared to dream of freedom. Every footprint preserved in the dust, every whisper carried on the breeze, serves as a tribute to the countless lives shaped, or ended, by these hidden corridors. To explore Augusta's ghostly tunnels is to confront not only the supernatural, but also the enduring scars of history. And as you emerge back into the light, blinking against the brightness, you may find yourself haunted less by fear and more by reverence, for the stories etched into the darkness, and the spirits who refuse to be silenced. The Witch of Dahlonega, curses, gold fever, and eternal shadows nestled in the foothills of North Georgia. The town of Dahlonega owes much of its fame to the gold rush that swept through the region in the early 19th century. Yet beneath its glittering legacy lies a darker tale, one steeped in superstition, vengeance, and the supernatural. At the heart of this legend stands the enigmatic figure known simply as the Witch of Dahlonega, a woman whose name has been lost to time but whose curse continues to send shivers down the spines of locals and visitors alike. Her story begins not with riches, but with ruin, not with triumph, but with tragedy. The origins of the witch's tale trace back to the height of the Georgia gold rush in the 1830s, when prospectors flocked to Dahlonega in pursuit of fortune. Amidst the frenzy, a reclusive woman lived on the outskirts of town, shunned by society for her unconventional ways. Rumors swirled about her practicing folk magic, healing ailments with herbs, and casting spells to protect her modest homestead. To some, she was a healer and a wise woman; to others, a harbinger of ill omens. Regardless of perspective, her quiet existence was shattered when greedy miners encroached upon her land, driven by greed and convinced that her property concealed veins of untapped gold. When attempts to buy or intimidate her failed, the miners resorted to violence. They torched her cabin, destroying everything she held dear. As flames consumed her home, the woman emerged from the inferno, her hair singed and her eyes blazing with fury. Witnesses claimed she raised her hands skyward, uttering words in a language none could understand, before collapsing to the ground. Believing her dead, the miners celebrated their victory and began excavating her land. But their jubilation was short-lived. Within weeks, strange and inexplicable events began unfolding. Tools broke without cause, tunnels collapsed without warning, and men vanished without a trace. Those who remained spoke of hearing disembodied laughter echoing through the mines, accompanied by the sensation of icy fingers brushing against their skin. Word spread quickly that the woman had placed a curse on the land, condemning anyone who sought to exploit it for personal gain. Locals dubbed her the Witch of Dahlonega, and her story became a cautionary tale passed down through generations. Miners abandoned their claims, fearful of invoking her wrath, and the once thriving community surrounding her property fell into disrepair. Even today, the site of her former homestead is said to exude an aura of foreboding. Visitors report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they approach, as though unseen eyes are watching their every move. Some claim to see the faint outline of a woman standing atop a hill, her silhouette illuminated by moonlight, while others describe hearing faint chanting carried on the wind. Paranormal investigators have flocked to Dahlonega in hopes of unraveling the mystery of the witch's curse. Equipped with audio recorders and infrared cameras, they've captured compelling evidence suggesting the presence of unexplained phenomena. EVP recordings revealed disembodied voices whispering warnings like, "Leave this place," or "You will pay," while thermal imaging footage captures shadowy figures darting between trees. Most chillingly, one team reported finding claw-like marks gouged into the bark of a tree near the witch's former home, as though something, or someone, had attempted to escape from within. Local folklore adds another layer of intrigue to the legend. Some say the witch's spirit haunts not only her land but also the nearby Consolidated Gold Mine, where her curse allegedly caused a catastrophic cave-in during the 19th century. Tour guides regale visitors with tales of ghostly apparitions spotted deep within the mine's tunnels, their faces contorted in agony. Others claim to have seen glowing orbs hovering above the sluice boxes, believed to be the spirits of miners doomed by the witch's hex. Even skeptics admit to feeling uneasy when exploring the mine, citing inexplicable drops in temperature and the sensation of being followed. What makes the Witch of Dahloneg's legend so enduring is its blend of historical context and supernatural mystique. She represents not just a victim of greed and injustice, but also a symbol of resistance against exploitation. Her curse serves as a reminder that the pursuit of wealth often comes at a cost, one measured not in dollars but in lives, livelihoods, and souls. Whether viewed as a vengeful spirit or a misunderstood protector, her presence looms large over Dahlonega, casting a shadow that stretches far beyond the bounds of her ruined homestead. For those who dare to visit, the Witch of Dahlonega offers a sobering glimpse into the darker side of human ambition, and the price of disturbing forces best left undisturbed. As you walk the trails where her footsteps once echoed or peer into the depths of the cursed mines, remember, the gold you seek may come at a cost too great to bear. And should you hear the faint sound of laughter on the breeze, heed the warning. The Witch is watching. As we draw this first chapter of our haunted journey through the United States to a close, let us pause to reflect on the myriad stories that have unfolded before us. From the spectral streets of Savannah to the cursed tunnels of Augusta, from the tragic echoes of Andersonville to the lingering wrath of the Witch of Dahlonega, we have encountered a tapestry of terror woven with threads of history, emotion, and the supernatural. These places are not mere backdrops for ghost stories. They are living monuments to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of memory. They remind us that the past is never truly buried. It breathes, it whispers, and sometimes it screams. This exploration of America's haunted heritage is far from over. In part 2 of our series, we will venture even deeper into the shadows, uncovering more chilling tales and forgotten legends. We'll step into places where time seems to stand still and the veil between worlds grows thin. Whether you are a skeptic seeking intrigue, or a believer chasing goosebumps, the next installment promises to deliver an unforgettable descent into the unknown. Until then, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, the darkest corners of history often hold the brightest truths. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the haunted heart of America. Keep your lanterns lit. We'll see you soon.